Married at First Sight, season 14, episode 3. I love this episode, y'all, and I really love these two together. No matter what we think, I don't know, Olajuwon is starting to grow on me. I mean, he knows how to talk that talk. He knows how to lay it on thick. And let me tell you, he's giving candy to the ears. That's how you get a woman. You put the candy in the ears, and once you get it in the head, you know what comes next. And let me tell you, can tell he's been doing this a long time because he knows how to sweeten the pot. They were really interesting. In fact, I could see them having their own show because I really could have watched more of these two couples. They were just really that interesting to me. So anyway, it started off, they was taking their pictures because, the wedding happened. So now they're at the point where they're taking pictures and he's like pulling her close and everything. He's like, "Ooh, you got a petite waist." He's feeling on her and everything. And she's like, yeah. And, they're talking about how it feels good. And, he's talking about it feels good being with her. And he's happy that she wants a family because that's what he wants. Olajuwon is a talker all day, all night. He's going to be talking all season long. But anyway, he's talking about how they're both, very comfortable with each other. He's saying that what he likes about Katina is because she's a loyal woman. It's interesting how people who ain't loyal love loyal people. But anyway, he's talking about how she's a loyal woman. He's talking about how her lips are so soft and juicy. Olajuwon is laying it on thick, and he's talking about how, she's bringing out the vulnerable side of him. I always thought it was there because don't nobody just become vulnerable overnight. He is a vulnerable person, but I don't know if he was doing it with the little floozies or whatever he was with, but he was like, he's vulnerable. And I'm not gonna say they was floozies because shoot, he's out here doing all kinds of stuff. But anyway, he's picking her up. He's like, "Let me pick you up and take this picture." He does a lot of little sweet things that makes a girl feel good, makes a girl feel wanted. And that's what a woman, especially in the beginning of marriage, you want to, you want your husband to want you because you want to have influence over your husband. And the way you get influence over a man is he got to want you. When he wants you, you get influence over him. And so I like that about Olajuwon. Okay, but he was talking about he's all in. He said, shoot, his sins are forgiven. He's like, God has shined on me and God has forgiven him for all his past sins. He is laying it on thick. I mean, he's lathering it on, you guys. So anyway, they move on to the part where they're doing their first dance and, they're kind of slow dancing or whatever. And, Katrina, that's what he called it one time. I'll get into that. But Katina is talking about how, she was scared before, but she feels really comfortable and she was really dreading the first dance because she didn't know how she would feel. But she was saying, "Ooh," in her little interview, she's like, "Well, I was feeling on his body. I was feeling his muscles. These two is something else." And she was like, "Oh yeah, he got muscles." And she was liking the way it felt to her. And she was saying that she feels he really has like a kind soul. That's what she was saying about him. And then she was like, "Yeah, the sun is like, in my eyes," because the way they were dancing, she was sort of facing the sun and the sun was in her eyes. He's like, "Don't worry about that, baby. Let me turn you around." He turned around. He says, "The sun can be in my eyes." I love a man who does that. I know it's fast talk, y'all. Don't be telling me I'm falling too quick now, but you know what? I just like it. I really do like it. So anyway, they started going on further on the reception. They're sitting down and they're talking more to get to know each other. And they start asking each other, "Do you want family? Do you want kids?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want kids." And so they start talking about, when they want to have kids. And they both kind of like agree that they want to have like kids in 2 to 3 years. And Olajuwon was like, "Yeah, because I want to travel first." Ding, 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 ding. Katina was like, "Ooh, that's me too. I want to travel and then have kids." Girl, these two is like giddy up. They just so happy with each other. They're just so happy they on the same page. I told y'all this was a season of similarities. And I think what we're going to see of all these couples is, are the similarities complementary or are they not complementary? Because we're going to get into the similarities of the other couples in the other videos. But what we're starting to see with Olajuwon and Katina is they are very similar. But the question is going to be, are they similar in areas that cause problems or are they similar in areas that actually enhance the relationship? So anyway, here's the other funny part. So then, of course, Olajuwon get back on that cooking thing because, he's like a dog on a bone with that cooking. So he says something about cooking and she says, "Ooh," he says, "Oh, you can't cook? You can't cook?" He's like, you scaring me. She goes, "Well, no, it's not that I can't cook." She says, you're going to survive, but, You know what Olajuwon said? He said, well, that's all we need to do is survive. He says, we're going to have to learn how to cook together to survive. Now, wait a minute. This was the same man who, less than a week ago was like, he needed to do more than survive. He needed 5-course meals. He needed all this. Now he's down to, girl, just cook me a sandwich and I'll be, I'll be okay. He's even talking about we got to learn how to cook. Before, he wasn't trying to get in no kitchen doing nothing. I'm telling you, see what love will do for you. See when you really want a person, all of a sudden how you willing to do something different. I'm telling you, when people out here with these men who don't want to do nothing for them, that's because they don't want you. When a man wants you, he will do things to make you happy. So don't be thinking, oh, he's just not like that. No, when a man wants you and he really wants to get with you, he will do what he needs to do to get you. So Olajuwon, he's anteing up. Olajuwon is anteing up and he's laying it on thick, y'all, thick. So anyway, they go to the cake cutting scene, and there's this cute, Katina splashes the cake in Olajuwon's face, which was really cute. That's kind of traditional. So they doing all the little traditional things. That's kind of what I like. He got down on one knee. He did the toast. They're smashing the cake. He lifted her up off the ground. I'm telling you, he is doing all the right things that when girls sometimes think about their weddings and stuff, he's kind of doing it, even though, this is TV and stuff. So anyway, they come to the part where, they're talking to each other's family, like, how do you think he likes me? What do you think of me? So Katina goes off and sort of talks to his friends, right? His brother and his other friend. And they're asking Katina about her, and they're asking Katina, oh, do you like to go out? And she's like, no. She goes, I used to go out. I came for the club scene. I used to work the club scene. And they're kind of shocked because I don't know if they knew how much these two had in common. She says, but I don't do that anymore. She says, now, I work for the state. I got a 9-to-5. And they're like, oh, he works for the state. See, y'all, another thing in common. Let me tell you, them state jobs is good jobs. Those jobs are steady. They typically have good pay. They come with good pay increases. The state don't never fire you, and you hardly ever get laid off. You get a pension, health care. I'm telling you, people can build good families off of state jobs. So the fact that them got 2 state jobs, I'm happy for them because right in, they're going into sort of a stable environment. But anyway, she said she liked the pool, she liked the hookah, all that. And I think the brother and the friend, they were kind of shocked to hear that she's starting to sound a little bit like they brother and they friend. So anyway, she's asking them, are there any quirks I need to know about Olajuwon? And they were like, well, one thing is you might need to explain things 2 or 4 times before he gets it. Girl, get on board with married women. That's all married women. We got to explain things 2 or 4 times to husbands. But they start talking about how a lot of things when he's sort of stubborn and he kind of bites back is because he's always in protection mode. And I think that's the vulnerable side of Olajuwon. A lot of people who are vulnerable in the inside, they have this sort of protective armor that they have on the outside, and it makes them do things, but that's really to protect them. And some of that running around that Olajuwon was doing out in the street with these girls, it's probably been protecting inside his heart that doesn't want to get hurt. So if you just go to woman to woman, you never have to risk having your heart broken. I really think that's what's going on with Olajuwon. So anyway, they talk about how he's always trying to protect himself and that, she has to have a lot of patience with him. They start telling her, that he may try to mold you to be the lady you want. Let me tell you, families are spilling all the tea on these people. If you out in the dating world, do not wait a long time to meet your man's family, his friends, or whatever. Because the sooner you meet the family and the friends, the more you'll be getting real information. Because until you meet them, sometimes you're getting the representative. But the family and the friends, they spill it. I always tell women, you 6 months you ain't met no friends or family? Girl, book an appointment with them. You need to sit down and talk to them real quick. But anyway, so Olajuwon starts sitting down with Katina's mom. Because, now it's time for him to meet her family. And so her mom's like, Olajuwon, where did you get that name from? And he said, it was my mom. My mom is Irish. So his mom is white. He said his father was Nigerian. I didn't know his father was Nigerian. I knew his first name sounded African, but his last name, I forget what it is, didn't sound African at all. So I'm kind of wondering, what I'm realizing is the 2 of them never got married. So the mother didn't give Olajuwon probably didn't give Olajuwon his father's last name. He probably has his mother's last name. But anyway, so he did find out his father was from Nigeria. And then he started explaining that he's got ADHD, which explains it. Because let me tell you, Olajuwon be rambling. His thoughts be all disjointed. They are everywhere. Girl, wrangling him in a conversation is like wrangling cats. I mean, he is all over the place. That is going to be a chore to have a conversation with him, because he's going to have disjointed conversation. He's going to start one chain of thought over here. Next thing you know, it's going to be another chain of thought. Woo, he may frustrate Katina, but you know, Katina's cool. She might just be acting like she's listening and she ain't listening at all. It may not bother her. But anyway, so Olajuwon is rambling on with the mother. The mother is overwhelmed by Olajuwon's rambling. And it's so funny because at the end of the conversation, just to get Olajuwon to stop talking, Katina's mother goes, "Oh, look over there. Is that a cat?" To get Olajuwon to look away. And then girl, she gets up and walks away. That was so funny. She was so tired of that conversation with him. It was ridiculous. But he was talking about all kind of stuff. He was talking about he really only has 2 friends. He was saying that, he ain't never been in handcuffs. He was talking about he had the highest GPA on his, I think it's his football team. First he called her Katrina, and her mother was like, her name is Katina. She was like, oh yeah, Katina. Girl, he's rambling on so much, but the ADHD explains it all. And remember when I was telling y'all about last year about Zach? I think Zach had a little bit of it too. I know him and homegirl, they both had little smidgens of it, but it was really funny. That mother was like, "Ooh, let me get away from here." Then it went on to oh my goodness, it went on to the reception, the part where you dance. Girl, oh girl, Olajuwon put on a full-on darn near strip show for his bride. Let me tell you something. He was winding up. He was opening up his shirt, showing all that chest. He was grinding on her and doing everything. And you know what? Katina was loving it. She was eating up. See, this is the club world. They used to this. They was eating up. Now, mama, her mouth was wide open. She was shocked as hell. She was like, what the hell is going on here? But let me tell you, the 2 of them, they was doing it. And so then after that, they show a scene where Katina's sitting with her girlfriends. And so now the girlfriends get to, sort of chime in on Olajuwon. And the girlfriend's like, girl, he got body, right? And so the girlfriends would like, say, ooh, yeah, girl, how you like that? How you like them muscles? And Katina's like, yeah, I did fill up on his muscles. And one of the girls was like, yeah, he looked at the camera guy. He gonna put his face all in it. I'm telling you, Katina, Olajuwon, and her girlfriends, they could have their own show. They were so entertaining. And Katina was like, and they were like, well, how long you gonna wait to, kind of do it or whatever? And Katina's like, probably a month. And this girlfriend's like, no. And Katina was like, stay out my coochies. He was like, stay out my coochie. But anyway, so then they show Olajuwon talking to his friends and his buddies, and they're like, yeah, man, how's the honeymoon night gonna go? When you expect too much. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna take it at her pace or whatever else, but if she ready, I'm ready. He's like, I'm standing already. And he was like, shoot, I'm gonna rock her world. That's why I call this video Rock Your World, because Olajuwon was like, I'm gonna rock her world. If she ready for all this, I'm ready to give it to her. And you got Katina over here talking about she gonna wait a whole month and tell people to stay out her coochie. But okay, we'll see, Katina. So anyway, they leave the reception. Everybody's going home. Everybody went separate, all the couples, I'll go through them in the different videos. But it was cute how they had different vehicles to try to go home, go to the honeymoon suite in. But I didn't like that Katina and Olajuwon went home in an SUV. Everybody else went home in like nicer vehicles, and they went home in just a regular old SUV. But okay, I don't know, was there a lack of availability of cars, married at first sight, who knows? But they went home in the SUV. And of course, they get back and, of course, the traditional, he picked her up and carried her over the threshold. And he was like, can I lay you on the couch? He's really thoughtful. I'm telling you, he is so accommodating, this girl. If she seems a bit uncomfortable or whatever, he is Johnny on the spot. What you need me to do for you? So anyway, he lays her on the couch and, on the, and they have, the champagne is there in the room, like married at first sight. And he's like, oh, let's pour this champagne, let's pop the champagne. And then they do the whole crossing of the arms and drink. I'm telling you, all the little things that women, that women think about they're gonna do, the crossing of the arms, sipping the champagne. Olajuwon is there with it. He wants it all. So they did that. So then the last scene is they kind of, getting ready for bed. And Katina is in the bathroom. She kind of taking off her makeup. This is the first time, every brides might be, well, he's got to see me for the first time with no makeup or whatever. And Katina's like, I ain't nervous for him to see me naked. I said, shoot. And she talking back, I ain't nervous for him to see me naked. She goes, I might just have to grab it. Okay, Katina, wait a minute. Just 2 hours ago, you was talking about waiting a month and stay out your coochie. And now you up here talking about you going to grab on it? Girl, you falling quickly too. You are falling quickly. So anyway, she come on out the bed. She come on out the bathroom. He done already stripped down to his briefs. Is in the bedroom. She gets in the bed with him, and she like, come on over here and cuddle me. Y'all, this was so hilarious but cute, and that's the way it ends. So who knows what they did? But let me tell you, all that stuff Katina was talking about waiting a whole month. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it that night. But that's it, y'all. It was really good. I really enjoyed these two. And I'm feeling so much better about them actually making it to the end. We'll see, but I'm hopeful. Okay, bye.